Quest for the Sapphire Stone. This is the first story in the series. I own all of them. No, thanks. I so don't read. I'm a world-class athlete. Reading's for eggheads like you, Twilight. No offense, but I am not reading.
Oh, yes, reading. I myself am an avid reader of both fan fiction manga and stories. And wow, I can relate to Dash here. I once hated it too, but that's why I like this episode. It's probably Dash's best episode because of the lesson she learned. And I'll explain why. Get your kid ass out of here. I'm also an avid writer and artist. The best thing about reading to me is simply the way I can escape from my reality, my issues, my problems, and instead sit down and experience a different world. And today, in episode 16 of Shaun of My Little Pony, Read It and Weep, Dash learns that lesson as well. Hello, I'm Discord Jedi Knight, and boy oh boy to back-to-back episodes where Dash doesn't annoy the absolute hell out of me. Sure, I'll take it. So I actually relate to her a lot in this episode. I remember a time when I thought reading was lame and only for, as she calls it, eggheads like Twyla. Despite being arguably smart myself, if I'm not interested in a subject, it is straight up hell for me to get through. I often remember my school days, dreading homework when we were going over something boring in history class. Now, that isn't to say I don't like history. I was quite the fan of Egyptian mythology, and I also find Greek mythology interesting. I love the Age of Revolution, especially the Revolutionary War of my home country, the USA. But after George Washington, I find a lot of it boring and would rather turn my head to a storybook than a history book. I also like science, both sci-fi and actual science. I'm an avid fan of space, dinosaurs, and marine biology. I once had pet seahorses because of my interest in them as organisms. But I could never pursue any kind of medical career. As soon as I hear the word disease, I already feel sick to my stomach. That's why I often turn my head away from that and dive into manga, comic books, or watch TV.
What was this fail about again? Yeah, I didn't really have friends. I was the smart kid in school, not the cool genius of the class, gained high grades on all his tests. Just the average smart kid who was more or less in the middle, smart in some things, dumb in others, who never got into trouble, was bullied for being a weirdo, looking down upon by women, and above all, wanted to escape the harsh reality of being human, only to find myself in the clouds, following my only true friends, which were fictional characters of manly archetypes I often idolized due to my lack of body strength and personality. Whoa, wait. What was this fail about again?
Oh, right, rainbow-colored ponies who didn't like reading books. Not about my existential crisis. So Rainbow Dash gets injured when she's trying to practice her flying tricks. Due to this, she needs to stay in bed, doctor's orders. Well, while she's there, she hates it and wants something to do. Twilight offers her a book to read. Yeah, because what else would the book pony do? Dash is initially frustrated by the idea, but soon she pushes it out of her mind, gives in, and becomes completely fixated on it until she's at the last page of her book. But then she's looked over and is completely healed, so she's free to go. But oh no, she forgot the book in the hospital, and she can't tell everyone she's an egghead. Afraid to ask for help because then her reputation as the cool pony is gone. So she breaks into the hospital alone, and bam, 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 bam. By the end of the episode, she confesses to Twilight, who ends up telling her she has all of them, and now Dash is an avid reader of books. Hooray! Now I know what you're going to ask me. What about Daring Do in her adventures? Well, honestly, it's more or less a play on Indiana Jones. And sure, I like adventure stories, but I am more attached to character development tales, not just treasure films. So, sorry, but I'm not really a fan of Indiana Jones. And I'm not really a fan of Daring Do. Damn, Dash would hate me if I told her that, but hey, not everything is made for everyone like what you like. That's why I'm glad that despite not being a Daring Do fan, I do like that Dash does. And it's the same for G5. I may not be a fan, but I'm glad others enjoy it.
And yeah, if you're so dumb that you think your reputation would be tarnished by something you love, well, then you're a loser. I say that fully knowing that if someone found out that I myself am a pony YouTuber, I would probably get laughed at by my entire family. It's like I should just look in the mirror and yell, "Take your own advice, stupid." Oh well, maybe one day I'll have the confidence to actually reveal that. Not only that, but maybe even my face to my audience. But hey, that may be one day in the future, but that's definitely not gonna be today.
All right, rainbow-colored ponies who don't like reading books. Well, I must say, as for Dash's character, this episode actually makes me like her, and she doesn't boast about herself. Too bad this version of her only appears in a handful of episodes, and most of the time she's running her mouth full of ego instead of offering a core personality. Anyway, what is my rating? I give it an 8. It's a really good episode, but it's nowhere near my favorites. It is definitely one of Dash's best episodes. At some point, maybe when I get closer to the end of the series, like in about 3 years, I'd like to do a list of the best episodes for each character. Look forward to that, as well as more videos about My Little Pony. For now, you can check out this video here. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and remember, my friends' friendship is magic, even if they're not real.